The salicylic acid cleansing gel. Now, salicylic acid cleansing gel was one of the original formulations. It's been with us at Circadia for a long time. Again, just like everything, it's gone through a few iterations and reformulations over the years. However, the hero here is the salicylic acid, right? So it's a 2% salicylic. Typically, you'll find salicylic used anywhere from 1 to 2% in a cleansing formulation. Maybe sometimes a little bit higher in leave-on, but that's generally the range. What I want to share with you again is a little bit more of that behind the scenes insight, right? When we're manufacturing our products, right, when we're utilizing some of the acids that I've been talking about, typically we're utilizing very high pure sources, right? Now, if you go to a drugstore, Walmart, Walgreens, and you search out a salicylic acid cleansing gel, you're going to pick up that package, look on the back of the bottle, and it's going to say 1% or 2%. Right? So you're probably asking, your clients may ask you, well, what's the difference between Circadias, right? It costs a little bit more, right? It's more readily available in the pharmacies. The difference is the integrity of the material, the integrity of the raw material, the purity that we're utilizing. It's very common to use what are considered to be lower grades of salicylic acid and others in over-the-counter products. So again, if you go to the drugstore, you're probably using a 60% grade of salicylic acid. Right? And as a manufacturer, right, so that's bringing raw material in, I can use that 60% grade, or I can purchase an 80% grade, right, which means it's got 80% salicylic and 20% of whatever else might be there as a filler for that ingredient. Or we can use what are called reagent grade. Right? Reagent grade connotates a much higher purity. It's a 98.9, usually 98.5 to 98.9% purity or better. Right, so we're using a much higher grade, a much higher percentage of active in the finished good. So while on the label, it may say 2% as well, 2% from brand X and 2% from Circadia, but what's inside the package is very different. The activity is going to be very different. So if you use the product and say, hey, this is a little bit more active than my 2% salicylic that I've used before, that's why. It's the integrity of the material itself. Does that make sense to everybody?